Now tonight we are hearing for the first time from the resilient family of Ira Duke. She was one of the two mothers shot and killed during Saturday night's Juneteenth concert in Round Rock.
Now Duke is known by many as an educator and someone who loved giving back to her community. KXAN's Will Dupree talked to her family about the ongoing search for the person or people who killed their loved one.
This is my little sanctuary, and it just feels good, and something we wow, you know, we have built this together.
The backyard is where Christopher Duke says he and his wife, Ira, found peace, and now the memories of her blossom alongside the flowers and vegetables she planted.
What I see, you know, yeah, we're sitting there. Yeah. Oh, we're sitting out there. We're reminiscing, we're talking. It hurts, it does, but I'm getting through.
He and his wife went to the Juneteenth concert in Round Rock Saturday, while their daughter, Alina, stayed home.
We waved goodbye. Hey, we'll see you later tonight. And I come home and I have to tell you, Mama's not coming home. Mama's not coming home.
Now, Ira will never get to meet her grandchild, due in December. Alina tells us she hopes her mother's death leads to gun laws changing.
And I just feel like all these events that have happened, it doesn't make sense to not have any prevention from it, because clearly having no control isn't working.
The family is also awaiting police to make an arrest, and Round Rock Mayor Craig Morgan has this promise.
I can assure you that there will be suspects arrested at some point, and they will be brought to justice.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Yesterday when I did a video about Juneteenth, I think I asked the question of, unlike other holidays, I'm not entirely sure exactly what traditions and customs do people participate in on Juneteenth. But now I know, right? I was reminded about what typically happens every Juneteenth, what people typically do, which is that they attend these parties that inevitably erupt in violence and mass shootings, right? I think mass shootings are probably the customs and traditions of Juneteenth, okay? Because it seems like every Juneteenth, you have some type of mass shooting, some type of crazy incident that happens when you have black people who are supposed to be celebrating being freed by the white man, okay, only to be shot by the black man while celebrating being freed by the white man, what, 150, 200 years ago? Again, it's amazing. And we've had multiple of these incidences happen across the country since people started celebrating Juneteenth, which was last weekend. Like, for example, in Round Rock, Texas, where you had a woman that was shot and killed while going to a Juneteenth celebration. Now, it took like 3 days for the police to release the description of the suspect, and lo and behold, it is a 5'7" black male with short dreads who was wearing a white hoodie. Okay, so, I mean, the stereotypical suspect, right? That is what happened there, okay? It really is sad. And, again, this is happening all across the country, folks, and I'm not exaggerating. I mean, there's a story out of Milwaukee where you had some kids shot and killed, at least one of them shot and killed, after attending a Juneteenth event when a fight broke out.
More breaking news this morning. A 17-year-old shot and killed after a Juneteenth celebration that was supposed to be promoting peace. 12 News' Madison Moore is live at Washington Park this morning. Madison, the shooting came after a Juneteenth event this year.
And it was a new event this year, Mallory, called This for the City. It was held right here in Washington Park following the Juneteenth celebrations yesterday on MLK Drive. Organizers calling this and really marketing this event as a day of peace and unity for the city. But the sheriff's office says that organizers had to end that event early after multiple fights broke out. And as those hundreds of teens that were there dispersed along Washington Park, many of them right here to this playground, they say gunfire erupted. The sheriff's office says they received a call just before 9 p.m. for a large group of kids who were about to fight near the playground here in Washington Park. That's when a Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office detective witnessed someone shooting a gun toward the playground, striking a 17-year-old man multiple times. That teen later dying at the hospital. The Sheriff's Office says the detective fired back at the suspect, a 17-year-old man, but that suspect ran away from the scene. He was later arrested and was uninjured, according to the sheriff's office. The department adding another 15-year-old boy did show up to an area hospital with non-life-threatening gunshot wounds believed to have also been struck by the shooter.
And I would say that it's unfortunate, but unfortunate isn't the right word. It's infuriating. We have an event that's supposed to celebrate the Juneteenth holiday, and it ultimately ends in another young man being killed. I don't think there's anything more to say about that.
Yeah, so I mean, what can you say? Situations like this, incidents like this are why I don't want an invite to the cookout, right? When people talk about, oh, you're not invited to the cookout, I'm like, okay, cool, right? I'm totally fine with that because that means I probably won't get shot, okay? Because I'm not going to the cookout, okay? This is why I don't go to the cookout. Look at what happens when the people actually attend the cookout, right? Look at the Juneteenth celebrations. What happens? Again, we can't have one day in this country where black people say, hey, you know what? We're not going to kill each other, right? We're not going to kill each other. We are just going to celebrate freedom, okay? And, history or whatever. Can't do it. Can't do it, okay? And it's very humiliating and embarrassing for it to happen on Juneteenth, which again is supposed to be the day where you celebrate the freedom for the white man, right? So yeah, it's extremely fascinating stuff. I really don't understand why is it that black people just can't take one day where we don't have this mass chaos and violence that again happens every day in these communities, but the mainstream media doesn't want to talk about it. Okay, now again, if a white man went out there and committed some type of mass shooting or killed some black person on Juneteenth, we'd be having a race conversation, okay, about how black people are so oppressed and they're being genocided in the streets by the white man when, we actually really should be concerned about all the black on black violence that is killing more people per year, more black people per year than all the black people that got lynched doing Jim Crow, okay? But yet, again, there's no real sense of urgency to deal with that problem and to figure that out. But yet, all they want to talk about is racism, Jim Crow, slavery, what the white man did, but they don't care about what black people are doing to each other. Again, it's amazing. So, again, we have another Juneteenth mass shooting. Oakland, they were celebrating Juneteenth and violence erupted. Chaos.
Breaking news in Oakland tonight. Dozens of police officers, multiple ambulances, and several city blocks closed after violence erupts during a Juneteenth celebration.
Next thing you know, we all thought that we heard fireworks. So what we did was we ran from this direction. Next thing you hear, another boom, 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 boom from the other side of the lake.
Reports of a shooting tonight at Oakland's Lake Merritt. Good evening. I'm Julie Hayner.
And I'm Mike Meeback. Let's get right to KTVU's Amber Lee with the very latest on this breaking news that started around 8:45 tonight. Amber, what's going on right now?
Mike, we could see a massive police presence out here. Behind me, I counted at least 24 police patrol cars. And beyond my line of sight, you can tell with the flashing lights, there are plenty more in the area. Now, the mood has been very chaotic, confrontational. I've seen participants in this Juneteenth celebration get confrontational with police verbally. When we first arrived, we saw one man who was conscious being taken away in an ambulance. Now, we have unconfirmed reports that there were at least 4 people who were injured, possibly from gunshot wounds, and one person may have been struck by a car. Now, let's hear what the witness had to say about when things started turning violent.
It began to be a slideshow. It was a couple fights that were going off, but it didn't really happen. Next thing you know, we all thought that we heard fireworks. So what we did was we ran from this direction. Next thing you hear, another boom, 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 boom from the other side of the lake. We come down here, we're walking, and my sister sprints across the street where she's seen one of her friends were laying out, choking on his blood. We all came out here to celebrate our culture, our freedom. You see, people are still out here singing and dancing. This is not fun. Just two or 3 years ago, this happened, and it seems to be a repeating cycle. It needs to be some kind of change in the community, but I pray for the people that might have been lost. I hope that they weren't.
Wow. Wow. Speechless. I mean, I don't really have anything else to say. I mean, what else is there to say? There's nothing to say. This is just humiliating and embarrassing for the black community Not just there, but across the country, okay? Especially, again, when your main focus seems to be on everything except what we actually really should be focused on is all this violence going on in these communities. Why is it that there always seems to be an elevated chance of violence happening at these large gatherings of black people, right? Again, this is why I don't want to invite to the cookout, right? I don't want to go, okay? I'm going to pass, right? I am going to pass, okay, because of stories like this, right? Again, it's just self-preservation, right? That's all it is at this point. I don't understand why anybody would go to a Juneteenth celebration. Okay, if somebody says, I'm celebrating Juneteenth, we having this party, I'm not going, right? I'm not going. I'm sorry, okay? It's just not worth it. There's just too much of a chance of some shenanigans going down, and it's like, nah, I just don't want to be a part of it, right? I'm good. Again, it's a shame. It really is.
Now that young woman tells me a family friend has been shot and she believes killed here at the scene. Of course, that's not confirmed. We have not been able to reach Oakland police at this point. We're told that a police spokesperson is on his way, and we'll try to connect with that spokesperson when we get a chance. Now, we're also told that officers have fanned out to area hospitals to get a tally of how many victims self-transported to area hospitals. Mike, Julie?
Yeah, Amber, tell us a little bit about the scene right now. We see all the police cars there with the lights on behind you. Are there still a lot of people out there in the area, or has the crowd started to disperse?
Some of the crowd has dispersed, but I can tell you there are still people hanging around, very upset with the police, saying that they did not respond quickly when people were injured. But I also heard reports that police were overwhelmed by the crowd. The number was estimated to be about 300 people at the time when this happened. Like I said, I saw people getting confrontational with police verbally. And at this point, we had some people come around and heckle us too, but, it looks like things can turn, at any moment. So it's hard to say. It's, the police pushed us back several blocks when we got into further in where this happened.
And Amber,
I was also told that there were.
Since you've been on scene, I'm just curious, have you seen anyone be detained or taken into custody? And does it appear right now that police are searching for anyone in that area around Lake Merritt?
The young woman you heard from, the witness, her sister was detained. I saw her being detained. They questioned her and then they released her. And that's what I saw.
All right. Well, you said a police spokesperson on the way. Hopefully you'll be able to get a little.
Wow. Imagine being upset with the police that you wanted defunded, by the way, right? This is what these people voted for. They actively are antagonistic towards police. Okay. They don't like police. But imagine being mad at the police for not showing up fast enough. When a lot of these cities, these liberal cities, are experiencing massive police shortages due to the defund the police movement, right? Discouraging people from becoming police officers. I've done so many stories about this. But like I told you guys, what happens when something goes down? What's the first thing these people doing? They call the police. And now they're mad and they want to get in arguments with the police because the police didn't show up fast enough. When the police do show up, they're overwhelmed. Well, why is that? It's because they're short on staff. And you need a lot of police on staff for Juneteenth, right? You need to have the whole department on patrol on Juneteenth, right? You got to, okay? It'd be irresponsible not to. But yet, again, these people are upset. Oh, the police didn't respond fast enough. But I thought y'all hated the police. I thought y'all didn't want the police in your communities. The police are white supremacists. Again, it's amazing how that works. They call the white supremacists as soon as a mass shooting breaks out, right? As soon as something happens. But again, it's not the police fault that you guys can't come together and celebrate Juneteenth peacefully. It's not their fault. It's your fault. But again, it's just another example of how the priorities in the black community are just so out of line, okay? People concerned about everything except what they should be concerned about, which is cleaning up this crime and chaos in these communities. And they're blaming everybody except who they actually really should be blaming, which are the criminals, right? They should be blaming the criminals, but instead they're mad at the police. It doesn't make sense. But hey, Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.